Hello! Welcome to another episode of Greg Tech New Horizons. This is Zypher. Today we get a little bit further into LUV. I just finished Now You're Really Gonna Hate This number 1 through 4. Next thing I think I want to go for is this energy hatch, which is gonna take quite a bit of work. I do have this assembler already, so let's go ahead and, gather that up for the quest. And now we have the LUV superconductors quest available to us. All we really need to do is grab the barium and copper dust as well as some oxygen cells, and I just need to smelt up the dust itself. I did already start a batch of it. Eventually we'll have an assembly machine dedicated to superconductors, but for now we'll just do it manually. We'll go and drop this in our radon EBFs. When it starts its next recipe, it should take these, and I'm curious how long it's actually going to take. 145 seconds. Wow, I should have started this sooner, but that's okay. We have lots of other parts to work on. So far, I have the pump, I have these coded, I have these coded in our newest LUV assembler. We have LUV circuits coded, we're working on that. This is coded, this is coded. So I think next let's go ahead and tackle the ultra high power ICs. To get the wafer itself, we do need a large chemical reactor running at LUV power. Also taking molten naquadah as well as indium gallium phosphide and HPICs, which we already have coded. As far as molten naquadah, we should just be able to fluid extract some ingots. And an episode or two ago we did end up going out and getting some naquadah, which has in turn granted us a crap ton of naquadah oxide mixture as well as enriched naquadah oxide mixture. Now the IV quest line doesn't really seem to supply us with a bunch of alternatives on how to process the naquadah down. So we'll just switch this circuit to a 2, run down to the interface, we'll grab our naquadah oxide mixture from ME, and every 120 seconds we'll get a piece of naquadah. That's going to take forever. I think what we'll do instead is utilize the middle hatch, since it will automatically use both EBFs at the same time. And it looks like we're probably going to need to upgrade our vacuum freezer, as it's not going to process any of our hot superconductor. And you know, a matter of fact, since we need to upgrade it anyway, let's just move it. It's been enough time. I want to repurpose this room eventually anyways. Alright, she's all constructed. Now we just need some power and some AE. So we'll run some cables this way. Now we just need to attach some power. Hope nothing explodes. And if everything is wired properly, we should, 1, see more ingots in our input hatch, which we do, and 2, the vacuum freezer start up. 20 seconds each? Oh my god. It's okay though, everything's fine. That satisfies all of the main basic requirements. Now we just need to finish smelting some stuff up, about 30 ingots, so we can grab the quest. And as I'm pre-prepping various different materials, I just noticed we're running pretty low on sphalerite. So once this loads, we're going to go through here and see if we can find some more of the sphalerite asteroids and mine a whole bunch of them out. If I remember correctly, we have to go pretty far before we start to see them. Wow, you really do have to go out a far distance to grab this stuff. I almost never have to go, so I forget how far it actually is. There's one. And now they should just start to pop up everywhere. So let me grab some of this stuff and I'll meet you back at the base. Bye, slime. Don't fall into the void, Apex. No, we're a lover of darkness and all. Hello. Hello and goodbye. Well, I think we made out with a pretty good harvest for now. we can always come back again when we need to, because it's proven that we don't really have to come back often. I'll just throw all of these stacks in the input bus and let it work its magic. And we can watch our stockpile just go and go and go. This should also mean that our indium will resume, except that it needs to be purified. Now I think the reason I don't have this filtered in ore processing is because I wanted to quadruple it. And we have tons of galvania to do this with. All we should need to do is come up here and set another filter to bring in some galvania leaves. Now we just set our filter, enable insertion, and pull it from ME. Now we can watch the leaves just slowly, or rather quickly I suppose, dwindle away. And we can watch our stockpile of sphalerite quadruple. We went from 2,500, we should see roughly close to 10,000 when this is done, I think. Like I was trying to say originally, that should have started back up our indium process, which it did. We do have our 30 ingots of superconductor LUV now. Let's go ahead and pattern these for the wire mill. And I can't remember what the quest called for, 60, that's why we needed 30 ingots, Apex. And very quickly we should have those 60 base wires. These of which need to be processed even further. We need enderium, LUV pumps, and helium. Alright, that's the alloy that needs thaumium. Sounds like we have another planet to visit soon. Oh, good. It appears, the King Slime is roaming around attempting to wreak havoc. Do we take care of him right now? Hey, buddy. Hail to the king! Look at all the little slimies. We're swarmed. Well, they all died off on their own. That's unfortunate. Got some king slime throwing knives. Anyways, when I came up here earlier, I noticed that our thaumium plants don't always want to be in the growing stage, and I think that's because of the light. So what we can do is pop that glass out, put in a brick, and that should keep the light levels appropriate enough for the thaumium to continue to grow. And another mineral we can add to our electrolyzer for oxygen/hydrogen, this one will be for oxygen, is some grossular. We'll need to free up a slot for him, so we'll take a goldfish out of our tight buffer, chest buffer, and now we'll be able to see our oxygen rise very quickly as it blasts through this grossular. Next we need to craft 3 more LUV pumps. And I just absolutely love that we finally got this automated. Like, watching this turn on as it receives all of its parts is so satisfying. I don't understand what's going on with AE and why parts just keep disappearing. I thought I crafted 3, yeah, see, slowly appears. Wonder if that has to do with it being on a subnet, but we got all 4. We now should just need to toss this in here, and we'll have some superconductor wires in a few. At last, we have an LUV energy hatch, and the wires to go with it. Hey, so I can now autocraft dynamo hatches, and I just spent some time setting up this alloy blast smelter and starting to recipe out several of our different alloys. At the moment, we are gearing up to complete this Forge of the Gods quest times 4. I want to get this going as we have several different EBF recipes that take entirely too long to craft. This will solve that issue. Now, seeing as we had 3 or 4 different types of alloy recipes, this is why I decided to make this change. All I'm doing now is, like I said, patterning out these recipes and auto crafting them. Super simple. All we do is first figure out how much we need, I guess. So we click this recipe directly from NEI, encode it a pattern, come to our interface terminal, locate the number 6 interface, and select start. And we should, before too much longer, see Asteroid X start to populate in here. And I did already go in and partition several different drives for these different fluids. I also have a dual interface on an IV fluid solidifier, that way we can turn the fluid that's stored in the drives directly into ingots. Now with everything patterned out, I believe I should be able to go ahead and autocraft 4 of the Volcanus control blocks, 44, well I guess I can take out 4 because of the control blocks. And we'll go ahead and take out 4 more because of the heat chambers. And that was our first boo-boo. We're only supplying 2 amps of IV power, so I think we can only run 2 IV assembly machines inside this processing array at a time. We'll have to see what we voided here in a moment. I guess I had everything prepared except tungsten steel. I wonder if I could cheat this somehow. So I think if we cancel our craft, grab the motors that were being crafted from that, and grab a couple fortune books, maybe we get some tungsten steel? Exactly what I was hoping for. And an ender pouch. Now I can just arc these down and cheat the whole tungsten steel system real quick. And I believe each one of these is 3 apiece. Yeah. So that's what? A stack and some change, I guess? I don't know. I can't do the math right now. So now if we craft 3 of these, since we already had one, should be done relatively quick. And there they are, complete. 36 casings. I believe all we need to craft is 4 of these heating vents now. 1 more. 1 piece of naquadah from an enchanted IV loot bag. That was pitiful. Wow, this fluid automation is so beautiful. It works so well. Watch it go from liquid to ingots. It's so beautiful. The Forge of the Gods is complete. Now where do we want to put him is the question. I really feel like I want it to be in the middle. And just out of curiosity, what are our next coil tiers? Naquadah? I don't think I'm really ready to do that many naquadah coils at the moment, so I think we'll go with HSSS. The question is, how many do we need? And I was actually waiting on this moment. We are in need of mica dust. However, we have tons of mica ore available, and from a crop I recently planted, plenty of naquadah twigs. All I should need to do is set the filters, and I think for now we'll share the hatch with sphalerite for mica. Add that to our interface to pull, and start pulling some naquadah twigs. We're now quadrupling naquadah, mica, I think. Yeah, it's mica, not naquadah. This is the naquadah. Oh, it keeps moving on me. And now we just have to send this through ore processing, which seems like we can take the easy route with a macerator and a centrifuge. Hopefully I have some room in these interfaces here. I don't, however, we do have another input bus available here. I think I'll spare this one for another purified. And add the mica to that interface. Now I should be able to craft that 1176 foil that we needed. The HSS2X wire. Looks like our HSS coils are finally ready to be added on. I'm still trying to figure out exactly how I want to make this multi-block structure, but we'll figure it out piece by piece. I'm really hoping I'm not short blocks. I don't think I am. Nope. Perfect. Now we just gotta figure out hatches. Well, it looks like all of them have formed with 8 casings to spare, which I am completely okay with. Guess we could go ahead and knock out the maintenance problems. Everything is running fine. Now we have the cabling to do. Now, since I screwed myself here with the dense cable, I'll just put the interface here with a couple conduits to supply our materials that we need. Now, attaching this conduit, we should see our pyrotheum start to enter the fluid extractor and be fluid extracted. I thought. Oh, I see, that's the front side of the machine. I guess we can flip it around. Now we should see it start to populate in a moment. Yes. Wow, that is a very slow recipe. I'm really not sure that the IV fluid extractor will be able to keep up, but we will see. Kinda wish I was able to see. You know what, I might move this over so we can see what's inside the hatch. I think we're ready to try them. I just hope I don't run out of power. We'll load up the hatch with HSS, and we're gonna run not even the fastest recipe simply because we're out of uranium for radon at the moment. But let's go ahead and disable this with redstone, and we might see it start to run or not. We have to enable voiding. I almost forgot, as well as hooking up the output for this. Now I can't remember what I had to do for the alloy smelter, but I believe it was the control block we have to do this on. Void excess enabled. Still 70 seconds, however, it's doing 4 at a time, which will save us tons of time. So I guess we'll go ahead and enable void excess on all the others, and disable this one on redstone, and now we'll get HSS even faster. The real reason I wanted to do this though was for this. Naquadah. Go ahead and disable these with redstone. And voila! We finally have a 2x2 Volcanus quad setup, pushing through some HSS and naquadah oxide mixture. And it looks great too. Just need to add a roof. Ladies and gentlemen, our first T3 multi-block miner. Wow, I never noticed the capacity on these different GregTech++ materials. A huge maraging steel 300 pipe has a capacity to do 600,000 liters a second. I'll take that. Four quantum entangled singularities. 2 quantum link chambers. Add a new P2P channel. Now I realized shortly after making this that this does require EV energy hatches to use. Therefore I've set up a little quantum ring. I just need to double check and make sure that this works. First, let me rename them. Well, I have everything inserted, but it doesn't appear to power the other one. Okay, silly moment. Just needed to use an energy cell with already stored energy to jumpstart this, but we see particles inside, which means this is now going to work. I even put an interface on just to test. Now, just to make sure that this P2P tunnel is actually going to function properly, that would have been a massive explosion. Now we have the power going into a transformer, so we should just be able to verify it works by checking our battery levels. And it does. Next, I just need to make a few tweaks to our ore area. I think the last thing is to add an import bus with its appropriate cards. And just because I'm not sure exactly how fast this is going to move, we'll add 15 extract upgrades, speed upgrades to that ender chest. Grab one more ender chest for that color combination. And verify that both of them open. Wow, I'm really glad I store my rocket in here because I would have never realized I needed more mining pipes. Think we've done that one before. Now we just gotta load her up and head to Callisto. For some reason I don't think that's how that works, but okay. There we go, fall into the hole. That's more like. Now we've just got to do some sampling. Our first Callisto ice vein. There's some uranium, monazite, gold. I might have to settle for here. That's exactly what I needed. Let's see what's on the other side and kind of explore here now that I see these two. Didn't really pan out too much better than what I was hoping for. I'm really not having the best luck finding some more plutonium/uranium. Well, the main thing I came here for was plutonium. Well, uranium-238, but I can get both of those out of this. I was hoping I could find a spot to settle on 2. But it appears we'll only be able to do 1. So now we just need to choose the most ideal spot to harvest. I think for now we'll go ahead and settle right here. That'll get us both plutoniums, both Callisto ice, and a palladium vein in the process. Well, I pulled that out at the right time. Go ahead and claim this chunk and start to assemble our drill. Oh, hello. Got onto your shenanigans pretty quickly. Gotcha. And give him a little shelter. That is waypoint. I'm gonna try this out since I upgraded the tier. Maybe it was just a problem with the tier 2 drilling rig. Now our ring. No way, my pickaxe of all things just broke. I guess it's a good thing we have this. Weird that I can see its particle effects already. I'm gonna give you a dense cell anyways, just in case. I would have thought that this would just find its channel. Maybe we need to give it a minute. Oh my god, are we getting power? Oh my god, cross-dimensional power. It's a revolution. Now I think if we check our energy hatches, we should have power, which we do. Should we go ahead and give this a shot? Yikes. That did not work as intended. Interesting. I don't know why it shut off the first time. I hope it doesn't do that again, or that could be troublesome. Oh wow, we're outputting ores already. Okay. Let's go back home. Do good work for us, miner. Now I'm curious, did we have a quest for Callisto? We did. We need Callisto ice. Okay, well that leads me to our next point. Let's check the ore processing room. Make sure our new setup is working a-okay. We'll add 5 speed upgrades to this conduit underneath to help pull stuff a little bit quicker. And also, I don't know if I really need all of these impure drawers, but we'll see how it pans out. Now, off on a little side project with an ecological disaster in the background, we arrive at a side mission. Do you know what's about to ensue? I switched locations. Alright, this place has a little bit more grass, and hopefully we'll be able to gather enough zombies from around here to activate a few of these. I don't need all of them, but figured I would bring all of them just in case. I'll see you at the brink of night. It's like our first victim is lining up to stay nearby. I'd say we've got quite the collection of enemies arriving. Whoever's shooting explosives is gonna have to die. Just waiting a couple more hours. Any second now we should see our sigils start to flip. And boy do I have the collection of monsters. There it is, it's time. There's one at least. We broke the setup. I don't know where the redstone went. We have no more redstone. But, wow, I think it activated all of them, so it doesn't even matter. Wonderful. Now I guess we could get some crossbow training in. Now we watch it burn. No more spawning monsters. You've done your job. We have like 12 activated sigils now, and unstable ingots forever. Well, the time has now come. I think we are fully prepared to start moving over our Lapatronic supercapacitor as well as our 4 extreme combustion engines. I think I'm just going to fast forward through all of this and the wiring, and I'll show you guys the end result. Now, the whole reason I do that is to start boosting our light oil production. This in turn helps increase the amount of high octane gasoline we are producing so that we can power our new and improved home base. This back here is the powerhouse of our entire base. I went ahead and expanded the amount of power cells we have in here, which did bring our total to a whopping 32 million that we're capable of storing. Looks like it's a little glitched out at the moment. We have our engines neatly placed behind here. The room still needs to be finished, but figured I'd show off my neat wiring capabilities. I just got done relocating a bunch of our Thaumcraft materials over here, and also swapping out this entire wall as I really like the way the basalt brick goes with the energized glowstone, I think. And all of that was to make room for a brand new power generation room. Can you guess what this room's for? Nice. You know what, I've got a different idea actually. Our first batch of stainless steel turbine casings coming up, and our second batch. 2 rotor assemblies coming up, and the controllers coming right up. Hey, remember this room? Our old EBF and vacuum freezer room? And then you remember this room that I was so proud of? Well, I've got some news if you keep following me. Introducing our new power generation room, featuring our brand new extra large gas turbine. Now it has taken me hours to figure this thing out. Not only just forming it, especially because the tooltip does not mention one of the items that you need, and you need 30 of them. I believe it was the rotor shafts. And then also realizing I only need 1 input hatch, 1 dynamo, one maintenance hatch, and I tried to use 8 mufflers, but that just wouldn't work, so we went with 4 instead. Now another thing, as I only planned on having 4 of these large turbines, is I had to craft up 8 more, since we have 12 turbines now. But this thing here is going to produce us the power of 16 rather than 12, I think is kind of how that is described. So I have the other 6 turbines finally finished using this MAR CE M200 material. I had all types of... Whoa, this thing is huge. I mean, I guess it is a large turbine. What does the huge one look like when you hold it? Anyways, I had a bunch of people suggest this material, but nobody could really describe to me, how much EU per ticket was going to produce. So what I did was pulled up this fancy little turbine calculator, and basically what we have here is I added a whole new variable on the second page of the sheet here, and had to go to NEI, find the material that it was made out of, and basically look at all the tools and figure out what the average durability, mining speed, and I guess tier doesn't really matter, but it did have that included here as well. We can see the level 4. Most of the mining speeds here was 150. There are a couple weird ones like this 112.5, 75, but I think the general mining speed is 150. And then the durability we found is not the durability of the turbine itself, but the durability of the material, which a majority of them have this, what is that, 20,480,000? So yeah, we went with the large one. Now on the first page, the calculator page, all we have to do is select that material, and it shows us exactly what we'll need to basically satisfy this XL gas turbine. We have an optimal flow of 1125 that we can set the fluid regulator to, and it'll generate a whopping 17.3 amps of LUV power. That is going to do us so much justice, as we're only making 16 IV amps at the moment. Now obviously this room is not completely finished. This is a cutout for a second extra large gas turbine when we decide we need it. And I'm kind of going to fill this little area in here, maybe make this more of a bridge to our distillation tower where the benzene production is. But we can go ahead and insert our turbines. Make sure maintenance was done on all of our multi-blocks. It was not. That is why we check. Stop complaining. Running fine. Running fine. And running fine. Now one cool little thing I wanted to show off is this conduit probe. I had never heard of this until the other day, but it makes life so easy. Shift right click once you're in the actual proper mode. I believe you can switch modes, I don't remember how. Shift mouse wheel. Yeah, you can see it there in the corner going back and forth. But we should have had that copied. Now if I change this, all of them, I should start to see a lot more ashes populate in our storage drawer, which in reality is just going to be sent right to the centrifuge. Now I found out these conduit facades, whatever, actually connect the texture really well together, so I'm glad we chose this material for the walls. Now I believe we can go ahead and start these processes up. I did already start the tree growth simulator and the industrial coke oven, which had a power upgrade, as well as these 2 distillation towers. And I think, like I said, we should be able to start. Let's run a backup, just in case something explodes. Maybe I catch it on camera this time. Now I think to get the charcoal out of here, we just need to enable input from output side. Yes. So now we can place our other benzene ender tank. Matter of fact, let me make sure this is set. 1125. Yes, it is. Import. Cool. Can set that down. Maybe I need a bigger input hatch. I don't know. We'll try the MV for now. I didn't even think about that. Now we just need to wire though some cables, and this will only output 17 amps, which means we'll have to go with 8x niobium titanium cables. Now let's go ahead and enable this ICO. Now I had to turn void excess on so that it'll continue to run even if there's excess wood tar in this hatch. The only thing controlling it on and off is if there's charcoal built up in here. It looks like we could use another 5 speed upgrades. I'm getting tired of breaking this obsidian. Now what I do like is that all of those are completely on and I believe probably full. Indeed they are. Now the real question is, how easily will this keep up with our benzene supply? I want to say we're ready to turn this sucker on, but quite honestly I'm terrified. Guess what we'll do is run one more backup, and our first step will be to enable the machine control cover. It shouldn't turn on. Shouldn't. If it does, we go big boom. Alright. Our next test, I think I want to disable all of these large combustion engines for a moment. And I guess fix its maintenance problems. We can see we're still at 20 million. However, I know how to blast through that very quickly. These lovely guys. Oh yeah, look at it tank now. Well, it appears that I missed the turbine cut on and start working. But it's blasting right now. Generates 496,125. So if we divide that by 32,768, we get roughly 15 amps of the LUV. And it does look like the turbine was updated. The optimal flow looks to be 1,000 liters per tick. Now we're up to 504. So it kind of bounces around. Oh no, that's where it is. Okay, so what are we running low on? Oh, we blasted through that 8 million benzene. Holy crap. Part of me feels like this is not going to go well. We're going to have to severely buff our benzene production. How much power did we get up to? 7 million? Yeah, that's not good. Yo, look at this. What in the fuck is going on here, dude? Yo, this game fucking puts me out for a trip all the time. Anyways, that's gonna be all for today's episode. I'd like to thank you guys for watching once again, especially if you tuned all the way into the end. Sitting there behind me is a little sneak preview of what's to come next episode, along with some more general progression. Yeah, thank you guys for watching, and maybe we'll grow the slime population by a few. Leave me a comment if you want to be turned into a slimeling, part of Apex's slime farm. See you guys next episode. Bye now.